Lisa Alexander was cleaning her mother's house when she found frozen embryo photographs in the basement. But these weren't normal embryo photographs. They showed strange appendages, human-like, but different structures. That night, her mother, Dr. Susan Alexander, confessed her 30-year secret. She had worked in the CIA's secret facilities on a human-alien hybrid program. Welcome to the Human Stories. Before we begin this highly controversial fictional story, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from today. This story is entirely fictional and has no connection to real events or scientific facts. In the quiet suburbs of Richmond, Virginia, Dr. Susan Alexander was enjoying a peaceful retirement at age 67. After a 35-year career as a gynecologist, she retired in 2015 and spent her time reading books in her small house. Her daughter, Lisa Alexander, 42, was a successful lawyer working in Washington, D.C. She would visit her mother once a month for ordinary mother-daughter conversations. To Lisa, her mother was always just an ordinary doctor, neither overly ambitious nor mysterious. On Susan's walls hung diplomas and thank you plaques. University of Virginia Gynecologist, Chief Physician at Richmond Hospital, 30 years of service award. Everything seemed normal, but Susan had some strange habits. She always made phone calls in the garden. She never allowed guests into her house, and she never let anyone go down to the basement. "It's damp, unhealthy," she would say. In October 2023, Susan was temporarily hospitalized, a mild heart attack. Lisa moved into her mother's house to provide care for her. During her first week in the house, Lisa dealt with normal tasks, cleaning, shopping, paying bills. But gradually, she began to notice strange details about her mother. There were too many medical journals in the house, but these weren't normal gynecology journals. They were very specific publications like genetic engineering, advanced biology research, experimental embryo development. Susan had no internet at home. She didn't use a cell phone, only an old model landline phone. The strangest thing was this. Although Susan said she never had pediatric patients, there were very detailed pediatric anatomy books in the house. Lisa was hesitant about going into the basement her mother had forbidden, but when there was a power outage, she had to check the circuit breaker. The panel was in the basement. When she went down to the basement, the first thing that caught her eye was organized archives. Metal filing cabinets, labeled boxes, professional storage system. Too organized for an ordinary retiree. In one box were old photographs. At first, she thought they were normal embryo ultrasound images and moved on. But when she looked more carefully, she froze. The embryo images in the photographs were very strange. Human-shaped, but with additional appendages. Skull larger than normal, eyes appearing very large. On the back of each photo were notes: Specimen 47G, Hybrid Development Week 12, Neural Activity, Abnormal but stable. Lisa continued searching deeper. In a metal drawer, she found official-looking documents. The title of the top document, Project Genesis, classification level, cosmic. Inside was a CIA logo, date 1985 to 2015, and Susan's name appeared as Dr. Susan Marie Alexander, lead reproductive specialist. The documents were highly technical, but Lisa could understand them as a lawyer. Human Gray Hybrid Development Program, Genetic Integration Success, Rates, Long-Term Monitoring Protocols. The most shocking part was the success statistics. Total hybrid births, 347. Survival rate, 23%. Current active subjects, 79. When Susan returned from the hospital, Lisa was waiting for her. The documents were on the table. "Mom, what are these?" When Susan saw the documents, she seemed to have lost color. She remained silent for a long time. "Lisa, you shouldn't have seen these." "Mom, these documents say you worked for the CIA for 30 years. What is a hybrid program?" Susan sat in the chair and covered her face with her hands. "Lisa, some truth shouldn't be told." "Mom, are these documents real? Did you develop these hybrids?" Susan's eyes filled with tears. "I was forced, Lisa. I had no choice." Susan began to tell the truth. In 1985, while working at Richmond Hospital, I received a strange offer. Men from the CIA said they were looking for a gynecologist for a special project. What kind of special project? At first, they just said experimental genetic research. The salary was 5 times higher. I couldn't refuse. Then what happened? They took me to a secret facility in a forested area in Virginia, a place not found on maps. Lisa couldn't believe it. What were you doing there? I was developing human embryos, but not normal, modified embryos. Susan continued. The facility director, Dr. Richards, told me the truth. Dr. Alexander, we're trying to improve the human species. How to improve? By using genetic material from other species. Intelligence, physical strength, psychic abilities. Other species? You mean animals? Susan remained silent, then whispered. Non-human entities. Lisa was surprised. Mom, what do you mean? Lisa, since the 1980s, the government has been in contact with beings who came to Earth. These beings' genetic structures are very advanced. How did you develop these hybrids? Susan tried to remember. Every month, they brought me genetic samples. Very strange DNA sequences. I combined these with human sperm and eggs. Was this legal? Legal or not, there was cosmic-level classification. This is the U.S. government's highest secrecy level. How were these hybrids born? We used in vitro fertilization methods, but surrogate mothers were specially selected volunteers. How volunteer? Susan averted her eyes. Lisa, sometimes they weren't volunteers, sometimes they were forced. What happened to these children? Most couldn't survive. Hybrid DNA is very unstable. Only 23% could survive. What happened to those who survived? Some were raised in special care facilities. Some were given to normal families. To normal families? Yes. Parents didn't know they were hybrids. They raised them thinking they were normal children. Lisa was confused. Do these children look normal? Visually, yes, but they have special abilities. High intelligence, telepathic abilities, rapid learning. Mom, do you know any of these children? Susan remained silent for a long time. Lisa, your birth? What about my birth? You were a very intelligent child. You learned to read and write at age 2. You were doing high school math at age 5. Lisa's heart began to race. Mom, what are you trying to say? Lisa, did I ever tell you I was pregnant with you? What do you mean? You were adopted, but not normal adoption. Mom, what are you saying? Susan began to cry. Lisa, you're one of the program children. What program child? Hybrid program. You're a first-generation hybrid child. Lisa seemed to collapse. This isn't possible. I'm normal. Visually, yes, but you have non-human material in your DNA. How can I know? Special tests are needed. They won't show up in normal hospitals. Lisa secretly had a detailed DNA analysis done at a private laboratory. The results came 2 weeks later. The report was normal, mostly, but there was a note. Sample contains 2.3% unidentifiable genetic material. Origin unknown. Lisa went to her mother with the report. Mom, what is this? 2.3% unknown genetic material. Susan examined the report. This is a hybrid marker. So I really am. Yes, Lisa. You're a first-generation hybrid child. What does this mean? You're different from normal humans. Your intelligence, intuition, learning capacity is higher. Mom, is this program still continuing? I don't know. I retired in 2015, but they might be continuing. Are there other hybrid children? Of course there are. You said there were 79 active hybrid children. Where are they? Everywhere. They live like normal people. Lawyers, doctors, engineers, teachers. Do they know each other? Number. It's kept secret, but sometimes they find each other. Lisa began researching on the internet. Children with extraordinary abilities, young geniuses, people with IQ 200 plus. She noticed a strange pattern. All these people were born between 1985 and 2015. All were adopted. All had extraordinary abilities. Lisa reached several of them. They all told similar stories. I felt very different as a child. I learn much faster than normal people. Sometimes I can read people's thoughts. I have a special connection with high-tech devices. Lisa invited the hybrid children she found to a secret meeting. 12 people came. They all had similar characteristics: high intelligence, technological abilities, psychic abilities, intuitive powers. But their most important common point, they all felt different. "What are we going to do?" asked someone. Lisa replied, "We're going to learn the truth." When the hybrid children's research began to go too far, Lisa had strange visitors. Two men, black suits, official ID cards. "Ms. Alexander, we need to talk to you about some matters." "Who are you?" "We work with federal agencies. We know you've been researching your mother's former projects. This is legal research." "Ms. Alexander, some matters are dangerous for national security. What do you suggest?" "Stop these investigations. Cut your contact with hybrid children." "What if I don't?" "Ms. Alexander, you are a special individual. If you go against the system, special measures will be taken." "Are you threatening me?" "We're warning you. Your mother worked for the system for 30 years. She was loyal to the system. We expect you to show the same loyalty." Lisa didn't know what to do. When Susan learned that her daughter was under threat, she made her final decision. "Lisa, I'm going to reveal the truth." "Mom, it's very dangerous." "I've carried this secret for 30 years. Enough." "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to give all documents to the press. I'll reveal the full truth of the hybrid program." "Mom, they might kill you." "I'm already 67 years old, Lisa." "But you and other hybrid children are young. You're being raised unfairly." Susan sent all her documents to WikiLeaks. The Project Genesis files caused worldwide shock. Media headlines: CIA developed human-alien hybrids for 30 years. 347 hybrid children were born. Government turned citizens into lab rats. The government made an official statement: "These documents are based on fiction, and their accuracy cannot be verified." But the hybrid children now knew the truth. The hybrid children organized. They established an association to protect their rights and investigate the truth. Lisa became the president of the association. Hybrid Rights Foundation. Before Susan passed away, she said her last words: "Lisa, you and the others are the future of the human species. This burden is heavy but very valuable." Lisa had now accepted her identity. She was a first-generation hybrid child, and this was not something to be ashamed of but proud of. This story shows us that government's secret projects sometimes affect their own citizens. Whether it's real or fiction, who knows? But even if it's science fiction, the ethical questions are real. Is the effort to improve the human species ethical? Is experimenting on non-voluntary subjects acceptable? And most importantly, if such hybrid children exist, their human rights should be respected. Lisa's story is one of identity search, family secrets, and self-acceptance. What would you do if you were in such a situation? Would you want to learn the truth? Share your thoughts in the comments. This story is entirely fictional and has no connection to real events. Conspiracy theories are usually baseless and don't align with scientific facts. We share such fictional stories on the Silent Heroes channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Until we meet in the next story. Important disclaimer: this content is entirely fictional and created for entertainment purposes only. It contains conspiracy theory elements that have no scientific basis. Conspiracy theories can be harmful and misleading. Always rely on verified scientific information and credible sources.